series, Fierce and Feminine. And today in the room, we have someone extra powerful, radiant, smiley, bubbly, someone that I've been able to see from time to time. And, you know, as we unravel the story today, you guys, I'm sure, are going to love her even more. So welcome to the podcast room, Miss Marissa Palacios.
Thank you, Jerry.
How do you feel?
I'm honored to be here. I really am. I'm honored to be here. I take this as a privilege.
Yes.
And I couldn't believe it was my turn.
It's your turn to share your story, and you got nominated. You inspire many people already, so congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, share with us a little bit about, you know, you before Team Beauty. How did Team Beauty found you? Like, what was going on with you? And then we'll dive right in.
So when Team Beauty found me, I was working in a salon 10 to 8, super tired. I had just jumped back into school to finish getting my esthetician license, so I was just dying. In my area, my local community, we had this page that was coming out in my Facebook, you know, and they were selling this drink that gave you clean energy and all this stuff. And I'm like, let me see, because nothing was working. Mm-hmm. I took all that other stuff and it would work. And then it just was a nasty thing, like a nasty crash. So I stepped in, and ever since, I never stepped out. I fell in love.
You got the energy.
I got the energy. I had the focus. You know, yeah. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I'm a dog mom. I'm a caregiver. So, you know, to be able to like really dial in school and focus and finish, and then still go home and, you know, tend to my duties and then wake up again and do it the next morning. It was really, really like impressive.
Awesome. And so you found your coach on Facebook.
Yes. I found her on Facebook. I went into the nutrition shop. She was just this bright, bubbly person that was also a mom. And I'm like, hold on. I need some of what she's got. Of course, it didn't happen overnight. It took, you know, a few weeks, months, maybe. And then I had a situation at my job. I got sick after a trip that they took us on. I got sick and I called in. And of course, that's frowned upon in most jobs. So they kind of took me off schedule. And so it was one of those things where it was like, man, if I'm not at my chair, I'm not making any money, you know? So that time that I spent at home, you know, scrolling on Facebook, my coach, I had already started following her, and she started talking about this business opportunity. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get my team. I'm going to talk to her about this. And so I did that. I went in and, you know, we sat down. She had a few minutes for me. We talked, and she's like, you can work anywhere around your kids. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, you got a cell phone, you got a Wi-Fi, you're scrolling on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. She's like, you can make money. And in my mindset growing up, it was like, no, you go to work, you work hard, 9 to 5, you know, overnight, grave shift, pickup shifts, do this, do that, whatever you can to make ends meet, right? So I was just like, what is she talking about, you know? And so I sat on it a little bit. I didn't even talk about it with my husband. I just really thought about it. I started stalking everybody that you know was in the business with her, and I'm like, from a drink? I'm like, from a tea? And I loved the way I felt, you know. And the girls at work, they were like, you look slimmer. And I wasn't even on shakes or anything like that.
You weren't trying.
I wasn't even trying. I just wanted to be awake. You know, I just wanted to be functioning, and here I am. She got me.
So you started the business too.
I started the business, yeah.
That's awesome. Obviously, you're an amazing coach. You're an amazing person. You've done amazing things already. And so this was when? How long ago was this?
It's going to be a year and a half now.
A year and a half. Yeah. Awesome. And so earlier we were chatting, right? And it was like the topic of today, right, is kind of like who you are today is not, what we're gonna do or where we're gonna be in the next 12 months, but also who we are today isn't the same person that we were 12 months ago.
Exactly.
Right? So talk to me. Where were you 12 months ago?
12 months ago to the day, I was planning my little brother's funeral.
12 months ago. Okay, 1 year ago we were in a very dark
A
place.
very dark place. I was numb. I was shocked. I was in disbelief. They're calling me from the funeral home and they're saying my brother's name, and I'm like, he had to come down from El Paso, right? They had to, bring him down from El Paso, and I'm like, they're gonna, he's gonna get here and it's not gonna be him. It's a mistake. It's a mistake. And it was hard. It was hard. I didn't see myself wanting to do anything. I didn't see myself coming back from it. I was so hurt and devastated by it that it was like, come on, like, he's supposed to, see my son graduate. He's supposed to go to my 10-year anniversary party that I want to plan from my marriage. He's supposed to come home. I left and I came home. He's supposed to come home. This isn't real. And long and behold, to the day, the 16th, 17th of this month last year, we were in a funeral home, and, we were saying our goodbyes and, just trying to do the best we could, and I was so withdrawn. I was so pulled back. I unplugged from social media. I barely answered the phone. My coach was in extravaganza, and I was supposed to go. And I just couldn't log on because I was like, I'm supposed to be there. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be there with my Herba sisters, my Herbalife family, my beauty sisters, celebrating, learning, growing, taking this opportunity to the max. And I'm here. And then I thought, why would I think that I would be worth anything else? I'm supposed to work a 10 to 8, 9 to 5 job. My life was finally starting to change. I was starting to be more motivated, to want to wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning, to get up and sweat and work out, and want to meet new people and talk to people. And I just got pulled back.
Prior to that, we even had a photo shoot that we were preparing for.
A few weeks, it was my first challenge that I had completed, and I was so excited. I was, I got the call, and I was, laying on the waxing bed, getting ready for that experience. And, and El Paso, called me, and they were like, your brother was in a car accident, and unfortunately he lost his life. And even I thought it was on a holiday. He passed away on the 4th of July. So I'm like, to even think, in that moment, I was like thinking to myself, to even think that I could have something more than what I've always known. I was like, no, Marissa, this is
that
where
life is not for you.
This is where you belong. This is where you're supposed to be. And it stayed like that. I'm not going to lie to you. It stayed like that for a very long time. My team was in extravaganza. I was in a funeral home. We went through the process. I stayed with my mom. I took care of her, my siblings, my son. And I just couldn't shake it. I just couldn't shake it. And then
what are the things that, would come to your head, or what are the things that, obviously a death is always something very hard to go through. But in that process, what was that made it worse? What were the things that, made you continue to go down, the black hole?
I'm the oldest, right? So, we kind of, as the older siblings, we kind of carry this, mini mom status where, you kind of take care of them, and they're your responsibility. You look out for them. And that was something that was like an alarm in my head. Like, you failed. You failed. He was out in the world and nobody could find him. Nobody could reach him. You failed. Aside from that, we weren't on the best of speaking terms. I've always been the one that's like, there's a problem, go ahead and find a solution, we'll fix it. These are the things that you need to do to continue to, to continue in your life, to fix your issues or whatever it may be. And he was never like that. And so we had a falling out prior to, him leaving, the valley, really. We had a falling out and never had a chance to fix it. So, going to the funeral home, seeing him after 3 years, it was devastating because I felt so lost without him. He was like my best friend. I could talk to him all I want. He wasn't going to say anything. And all I wanted to tell him was, I'm sorry, I wasn't mad at you. I'm sorry I wasn't there. I'm sorry that this happened. I never wanted him to feel like we didn't want him, like we didn't love him, nothing like that. And oh man, it just really did something to me. And my husband would tell me, he's like, he knows that you love him. He knows. My husband's really good with his faith. So he would always, try to bring me back. And I'm like, I failed. I failed. I said, I failed, and I held that burden. And I, after everything, I took a few more weeks off of work, and that was the worst thing I could do. That was the worst, because my son went back to, his regular routine. My husband went back to work. It was bad. I was just attacking myself, and I was just telling myself that, this feeling, this emotions, this place that I'm at, this dark bubble that I'm in is where I'm supposed to be.
And that's probably like the worst. Obviously, we know after you start healing, after you like come back and acknowledge, right? And you get to see yourself 12 months ago, you're able to see that, oh my God, like I was doing so much damage. But if you're listening right now, that's like one of the worst things that we could do is put the guard up, shut down, be alone, hide in a corner, and be by yourself with your thoughts when you're so vulnerable, because those were the things that were going on in through your head. It wasn't, you could do this, get up. It was the total opposite.
Yeah, the complete opposite. And don't get me wrong, family reached out, and, my mom checked on me. I checked on my mom. I would at least get up and shower and go, I lived in San Juan. She lived in La Feria a year ago. That was where I lived. So, I would at least get up, shower, and go check on her, because I'm like, well, if I'm feeling like this, I can only imagine how my mom's feeling, So it took its time, and I allowed myself to sit in that. And my mentor, I love my coach. I love my mentor. She, when I thought that it couldn't get any worse, the phone would go ding, and Motivational Monday. There's nothing that you can't do. What you feel now is not forever. Whatever message that she had that day, whether she knew or she didn't know, it was something that was like, hold on, like not only family cares. Someone who I met over a cup of tea is looking for me, is wondering where I'm at, is wanting to talk to me, is wanting to know what's going on, and so it took some time. It didn't happen overnight. I went back to work, and I thought that was a good solution. It helped a little bit, but it only suppressed what I was going through. And then I finally said, you know what? I got to go see her. I just got to go see her, and whatever happens, happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never regret making that decision, because
So how many weeks or months apart was that?
that was a little bit over a month and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, before we reconnected, let's say,
Again.
because I'm not gonna lie, I avoided her. I'm like, I don't want to be happy. I felt guilty, if I'm being real. I
Yes.
felt guilty because I'm like, he's gone and I'm here alive. He's gone and I'm laughing. He's gone and I'm eating. The
Yeah.
littlest thing, you know, I'm able to shout. It just was just so like the littlest thing. And so I avoided her for, 6 weeks or so, because I was like, I don't want any of that, because I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. And then I finally said, no, it's time. It's time. And I went, and
And what happened?
I get goosebumps. It was what it always is with me and Desi. You know, it's a sisterhood that was created overnight. She understood right away. She cried with me. She prayed with me. She did everything a sister would, she was just there for me. And she did tell me, she's like, I didn't want you to think that I wasn't there. It's just, sometimes we have to go through things, alone,
Yeah.
in order to be able to come back. And she's like, and that's what this is. And she was one, I know some other people had already said it to me, but when she said it, I was like, And what it was he's not mad at you. He's proud of you. He wants you to live life the way he lived his life on his own terms. And this is what is for you, because I told her, I said, I shouldn't even do this. I was second guessing being in the business and all that. And, she was like, okay, like, I understand that. She's like, but, God put you in this position for a reason. It's tragic. Yeah. She's like, but what you're going to get out of it is going to be so much more. And I was like, man, why did I wait forever to come see you?
Yeah. And you got over that hump. You never get over the situation, but the darkness, being alone, and Marissa, there could be, right, two people listening to you. For example, somebody that has gone through that type of burden, a death in the family, taking it very personal. It's hard to lose somebody, but even harder when you know that I could have said I love you, for the last time. I could have done this. I should have done that, just like you were mentioning. And then there's those people that, currently do have, right, a family member, do have, a mom. And, your mom, you mentioned that she was going through cancer.
Yes, she's
cancer. And that you're her caregiver, right? Yeah. And so how powerful, or what powerful position has God put you to develop, this strength beyond words, that maybe in certain points of your life or certain days you might say, like, I surrender, like, this is it, like, I'm not gonna do more, or this and that. And so for you, obviously, you were able to find a platform, vessel, right, where you're able to carry that strength and get that motivation. But, what is it on a daily today that you're able to look at yourself, right, this morning, yesterday, the day before yesterday, a year later, after this, and be like, let's get up and let's do it, right? Like, instead of thinking like that, I don't have this person, I have this person. And so many times maybe we want the circumstances to be perfect. Like, I want my son to be perfect, right? Like, or I want my mom to be healed, or I want, this, or I would like life to look like this. Well, our life is the way that it is. So, like, you carry so much strength. And what is it that you tell yourself on a daily basis to be able to say, today I am deserving, right? To continue to tell yourself, like, I can elevate. I do want more. Like, there's that seed inside of you that's lingering, right? And so how do you get up and go get it every single day?
I know that every day is not the same, right? And if I reflect back, I know that I'm not in the same place that I was 12 months ago. So what I try to tell myself is that it could always be worse, but it could always be better as well. You know, so I just get up and try, you know, because everybody has something going on. Everybody feels something. Everybody
Life.
it's just life. You said it correctly. It's just life. So I want to be able to look myself in the mirror and be like, Marissa, you didn't give up. You didn't give up. You were in a very dark bubble, and now you're in a pink bubble that wants me to get up, you know, that motivates me to get up, that you know, helps me continue, because, you know, it's hard, you know, and I have my mornings. I'm a human. I have my mornings, and you know, a year ago they were a lot worse. You know, I was just negative, you know, like, I'm not gonna get up because I'm not gonna do this. I'm not. And I said, no, I am gonna get up because I'm able to. God gave me another day. What am I gonna do with it? You know, and that's something that I think that without Team Beauty, without my pink bubble, that I probably wouldn't have the mind to do. And, you know, like you said, there's days where I want to surrender. Oh yeah, the plate gets really heavy. But I just take a moment to myself always, and I try to look at myself in the mirror and say, I'm capable of doing this. I was capable of doing that 12 months ago. I'm capable of doing this. You know, and I've always been in the people service business, if you will. So like, as an esthetician, I do eyebrows. So when I see their reaction of such satisfaction, like, oh my God, like, what did you do? You work miracles. Why can't I give that to my family? Why can't I give that to my son, my husband, you know, my sister, my brother, who also are suffering like I do sometimes, you know, and, you know, why can't I share that? You know, and, you know, something else that my mentor always tells me, she's like, you are a light. She goes, that smile you have, man. And my mom used to tell me all the time. And I said, so why not smile and say, I can do this. I can do it. I'll do it with tears in my eyes, and I'll wipe them, you know, redo the eyeliner and all that good stuff. But I can do this. I have been doing it. So why not keep going? Why not keep going?
Yes, I love it. And, you know, it's beautiful to be able to see the before and after, right? So many times we look at the before and after physical transformation, right? We look at the before and after, I lost 30 pounds. The before and after, look at my booty gains. The before and after is like, look, right? The physical. And in these last 12 months, right, there's definitely a before and after Marissa, right? Like, there's a before and after mind, mental Marissa, soul Marissa, right? And that's beautiful to see. And I think that if you're listening to us right now, that is what you're going to find beyond your 8-week journey is, you know, I'm going for my personal physical transformation, but getting up over and over and over and over again to work out, to show up with your coach, to check in, to do whatever it is that you're doing in your journey. Most importantly, in disguise, maybe? What do you think, Marissa? In disguise, you're going to find a beautiful mental transformation if you allow it to transform you into the woman that you're supposed to be in the next 12 months, right? So we're not created to stay the same. No. And that's why we have life circumstances come at us. The other day, my husband was sharing with me, we got to take advantage. We got to take advantage of the good times because the winters are going to come, you know, and there's the surprise winters like yours. That was a surprise. That was something that, it's like you never expect something like that to happen, right? No. Those surprise winters are going to come. And so how great that we could wake up and that we could prepare, ourselves to be mentally stronger. Yeah. To be spiritually stronger, right? To be physically stronger, and that we have people in our corner that are, you rooting could do this. Yes.
Rooting for us.
Yes. So for those listening, Marissa, what would you say, this week I'm feeling like this. Oh my God, I could totally relate, to you. That has happened to me in the past. I haven't gotten over it. Like, what could you give them as action steps of like, this is what you need to begin to do in order for you to come into this light, come into the pink bubble. Like, these are the little things that I started doing slowly that eventually has me here talking positive, on this podcast today. Right. So what does that look like for someone that, is listening to this right now and wants a better week?
So I think you said the word perfectly, slowly. Nothing happens overnight. Right? So slowly, small baby steps, but reminding yourself that you are doing it, even if you don't feel like it, you are doing it, right? And even though it's so overwhelming and it's so dark right now, there's always something to look forward to, So always give yourself credit, because I didn't do that. And I didn't know how. And I felt guilty doing it, So it's okay to give yourself that little bit of credit. Like, you know what? I woke up today and I didn't have a bad thought. That's awesome. You know what? I woke up today and I made my shake or my tea, and I wasn't going through a list of 30 different thousand things that I have to do. I just made my tea. I was in the moment. Those moments matter, because in the end, it could turn it around. And you can be 12 months later like, whoa, whoa.
I could talk about this.
Yeah, I could talk about this and not get into this sad, negative place. No, I can talk about it. And yeah, of course, like it hurts me or whatever the case may be. But you can still, you can talk about it and you can share and, help the next woman, on her struggles, and that's really all we can do is, baby steps and keep pushing.
Answer your coach.
Yes. yes. Answer your coach, ladies. Don't do that.
What do you want to tell your coach today?
Oh, my coach, Miss Desi Alvarez. Thank you for seeing something in me that I don't see on a daily. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for not only being my coach, but being a sister, being a friend, a soul sister, we say to each other. Thank you for doing the business. Because without you in the business, there would be no me. And for you on your days, when they get hard for you, just always remember that I'm here for you, that I'm here to be your light. I really, honestly, I really don't know where I would be without her, because I know she always has my back, and we've known each other, 18 months? So that to me is very powerful, to meet somebody and to be able to take care of them the way that she takes care of us, me specifically is very amazing. So just a plain Jane, simple thank you. That's all I can say to her.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. You have me in tears. Both of you are curly. That's one of the things that I identified. Yeah. I'm like, those two, they found themselves.
Yeah. It's
true. Both of you are curly. Both of you are gorgeous and beautiful and obviously very powerful. So I acknowledge you for sharing, because I know as you shared today, there's going to be somebody that shuts this off and turns around and messages their siblings and tells them, I love you. If you're listening, message the person that you love and that you haven't spoken to maybe for a week or 2 weeks and tell them, I love you. And, your story, your courage, can truly change somebody out there. So thank you for having that
Thank you for having me.
To speak here and share your story. We're going to continue watching you. Make sure that you tag Marissa, share your takeaways, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much.